In this video, we're going to be graphing parabolas of the form y is equal to ax squared and y is equal to ax squared plus c. So these are some basic parabolas to get started on this subject. So what we're going to do here is make a table, which we've already got it mostly done here, and we're going to plug in all these numbers: 0, 1 and -1, 2 and -2, 3 and -3. So three numbers on either side of 0. So when a negative goes into here, and goes into place of x. So -3 squared, that's -3 times -3, right? That's what negative squared means. So -3 times -3 is the point -3, 9. Okay. This one, -2 squared, becomes a +4. There we go. -1 squared becomes 1. There we go. Let's see, 0 squared stays 0. 1 squared is 1, 2 squared is 4, 3 squared is 9. Okay, so 1, 4, 9. All right, so now we can put these points, these 6 points on the graph. We can start at 0, 0. Okay, that's going to be the vertex of this parabola. Okay, and then we can plot some other points. Let's see, -2, or let's see, let's do -1, 1. -1, 1 is here. Let's see, -2, 4 is here. And -3, 9 is here. Okay, and the other side over here is going to be a mirror reflection of these 3 points. Okay, so over here you get 1, 1, you get 2, 4, and you get 3, 9. Okay, so this looks like this. A little bit similar to the way the absolute value looks, except this is a curve instead of a line. Okay, so there's that. Now let's do an example of having a c out here. So this will be a +2. Okay, so let's plot these points. So we plug in a -3. -3 squared becomes 9. We know that from before, but we add 2, we get 11. Okay, so -3, 11. This becomes 4. 4 plus 2 is 6. This becomes 1. 1 plus 2 is 3. This is 0. 0 plus 2 is 2. And then 1 plus 2 is 3. 4 plus 2 is 6. 9 plus 2 is 11. So 3, 6, 11. Okay, so let's plot those points down here on the graph. We no longer are at the center, right here, but we are at 0, 2. That's our middle point. So that will be the vertex. And now let's plot these other points. Let's see, 1 and 3, -1 and 3. So there's those 2 points. 2 and 6, and then -2 and 6. Okay, and then 3, 11. That's a little bit off the graph, but that's all right. We'll just go one more up. There's 3, 11, and -3, 11. So this graph looks like it's been shifted up from the other one. By how much, though, did it get shifted up? Well, it got shifted up 2, and that was because we added 2 to it. Okay, so that's an example of what they look like. Now let's do some other problems. Okay, so first of all, to graph y is equal to ax squared plus or minus c, first you need to figure out which direction that it opens up. Okay, so is it kind of like a smiley up like this, or is it a frowny face? Okay, so it's a smiley face if a is positive. It's a frowny face if a is negative. So positive a means it goes up like this. Negative a means it goes down like this. Okay? So we identify what the a is. That's the number that's out in front of the x squared. We can see one right here. There's a 3. Okay? And then we identify what 1 times a and 3a is. Okay? So we'll start at C, start at the vertex. This time we don't have a C, there's no number here, so we'll start in the middle since we haven't been shifted. And it says, step 4, move over 1 and up or down 1A. And again, up if A is positive and down if A is negative. Okay, so we'll start here. We've identified our A is equal to 3. We've identified that that's the same as 1A, and 3A is equal to 3 times 3, which is 9. Okay, so it says start from the middle, move over 1, and then in this case we'll move up A, over 1, up A, 1, 2, 3. So we moved up that much. We'll do the same on the left, left 1 and up 3. Okay, and then it says again move over 1, but this time move up or down 3A. So we'll move over 1 again and then go up 9. So it'll be 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. That would be up here somewhere and here somewhere. Okay, so we got a parabola, a really skinny parabola because it's got a number out in front of it. But there's what your graph will look like. Okay, now this is the kind of the shortcut. If you want to just create a chart with your x's and y's, just like we did on those first few parent functions, you can. I'll give you an example. You can plug in, let's say, 0 for x. If we plug in a 0 for x, we'll also get a 0 for y. If we plug in a 1 for x, 1 will get us a 3 for y. If we plug in a 2 for x, 2 squared is 4 times 3 is 12. Okay, so these 3 points will be on the right side, 0, 0, 1, 3, and then 2, 12. Okay, and then we can mirror it to the other side as well. Okay, but this way kind of gets it done a lot quicker. Okay, let's try another one. Okay, on this one we have y is equal to x squared minus 4. We need to figure out our a. A is 1. 3a is 3 times 1, so 3. And a is positive. Also notice that we will be starting at negative 4. So that's where we'll put our first point on the y-axis. It'll be at negative 4. Okay, that number graph here. Okay, and then go 1 over, and then what is our a? 1. So we go up. We do the same thing on the left, left 1, and then up 1. That takes care of this one. Now when we move again, we'll move 3 up. So 1 over, 1, 2, 3. 1 over, 1, 2, 3. Okay, and that's enough to graph the line, or not line, the curve, the parabola, and that's what it looks like. Okay, let's do another one. So we have y is equal to negative 2x squared plus 5. A is equal to negative 2, so that tells us it's going to be opening downward, frowny face, right? And in 3a, what's 3 times negative 2? It's negative 6. Okay, where are we going to start? Well, this tells us that. We'll start at 5. So we'll put our first point right there. And then I move over 1, and this is negative 2, so down 2, over 1, down 2. Do the same thing on the left, over 1, down 2. And then the next time we're going to move 6 down, because this is a negative 6, so over 1 again, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. And over 1 again, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Okay, and that's enough to graph this parabola. Not going to be perfect, but you get the idea. Okay, for this one, we have y is equal to negative 4x squared plus 8. Our a is equal to negative 4, so that's going to be this type of graph, right? And then we've got our y-intercept is equal to 8, so that's where we'll put our first point. Okay, so a is equal to negative 4. What is 3a equal to? Negative 12, right? Okay, so our first one will move over 1 and down 4 because of this. So 1, 2, 3, 4. The same thing on the left. Okay, and then we'll move over 1 again and then move down 12. So over 1, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12. Okay, and the same thing over here. I'll move here and go down 12, which will be here. And then we have our skinny graph. Why is it skinny? Because it's got a number out front that's not a fraction. Okay, and the bigger this number is, the skinnier this graph will be. Okay, let's do this one. Our a is 1/3. and our 3a is, let's see, 1. Okay, and we're starting at 0, 0. Okay, so it's going to be hard to make those intermediate points. Okay, so it start at 0, 0, but it says to move over 1 and up a third, which would be like right there and right there on either side, right? And then it says to move over 1 again and then move up 1. So over 1, up 1 would be here, and over 1, up 1 would be here. Okay, that gives us kind of an idea. If you want some exact points, if you're using a program, you can type them in, or you could create a table on this, a table of values. Okay, and you might want to use some values for x that maybe make things reduce into non-fractions. Let's see, what about a 0, first of all, we know that. Plug in a 0 here for x, you get 0 for y. If we plug in a 3, well, 3 squared is 9, but 9 times a third is 3. So you do get the point 3, 3, which means that you have the point negative 3, 3 as well. So that gives you kind of a better idea. Let's see, you could use another one like what, 6? If you did 6, it would be 36. Plug this in here, it'd be 36 divided by 3 would be 12. Okay, so that's a little off the mark there, but it would be 6 and 12 would be way up here. Okay, and then negative 6, 12 would be here as well. So anyways, you get the idea. You can plug in some points and get you some accurate ones if you need that. Just use a table if you need. Okay, but there's the graph. Okay, let's do one more. Okay, so on this one, again, we have a fraction. So we know our a is equal to negative 1 over 4. Our 3a is going to be equal to negative 3 over 4. Okay, so we'll see how that works out. We'll start at 0, 0 because there's no number here. So 0, 0. And we know it's opening down because our a is negative, right? Okay, so it says go over 1 and down 1/4. That would be there. And go over 1 again and go down 3/4. Well, that's good because we already went down 1/4. If we go down another 3/4, that's all the way down to negative 1. Okay, so that's what it would look like right there. You could plug in some other points. Let's try 4. What would happen if I plugged in a 4 on my XY T chart here? So if I plugged in a 4, 4 squared is 16. 16 times negative 1/4 is negative 4. Okay, so it would be 4, negative 4. And you can do the same thing on the left because you plug in negative 4 is also going to give you a negative 4 out. So 1, 2, 3, 4. There you go. And notice these last two have been wider than the first ones we were doing. And that's because they have a number between 0 and 1, not including the negative, but this number right here is between 0 and 1, and the smaller fraction is like an 1/8 or a 1/10 or a 100th, it would get wider and wider. All right, that's it for this topic.